Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Give us a clap.
Well, I was officially hired by the City of Edmonton when I was 18 years old, but I actually started volunteering with the City of Edmonton when I was 12. So my entire working career with the city, yeah. I mean, it's not the only job I ever had, but I've been with the city as my main employer for the entire time. Well, it was actually ironic how I ended up working for the city. I was injured in a sporting accident in high school, and I couldn't play sports anymore. So I started swimming, and because I was swimming, it led me into becoming a swim instructor, and that's how I was hired on at the city originally. Currently, my role with the city is I'm a civic events liaison.
And what does that mean?
So what it means is that if you want to have an event on City of Edmonton property, I'm one of the people who helps you get all of your permissions and permits in line so that you can successfully host your event on City of Edmonton property within all the bylaws and regulations that exist. Mostly just a change of venue. My commute's a lot nicer. You know, I go from the kitchen to the office. Not an hour-long bus ride on either side. But yeah, I mean, my work is still pretty similar. One of the additional aspects of my work is that I always have to make sure that COVID complications are taken into account for any event, depending whatever they are at that moment in time.
Do you find it harder to work remotely?
Not really, no. I kind of enjoy it. I mean, it's still the same job. It's still the same work. So I don't think it's harder, no.
You also do have 3 fur babies at home with you. So do you find that as you're working that they are a source of distraction to you?
No, you're right. There's the 3 animals. There's the 2 cats and the dog. Q, the dog, he just curls up on the floor somewhere nearby. So he has about 3 or 4 different places. So it's usually actually a nice icebreaker when you're talking to somebody new, especially on video calls, because you'll see their pets in the background, and then you'll be like, oh, let me just move my camera. I'll show you my dog. Here he is, sleeping. So yeah, in fact, he's actually sleeping on the floor right there right now. So it's just wherever he is, it's just fun to kind of show him off on camera. With the 2 cats, Prince, he comes and goes and sort of just kind of checks in on me. They're allowed on my desk, so they've been trained not to walk on my keyboard, but they do come up to the desk. So Prince will come up and say hi and, you know, walk around a bit and then leave. Charming, he curls up on my desk and sleeps. So he's often sleeping between me and my keyboard, and then I just kind of rest my hands on him and type. And he just spends most of the day sleeping there, and we've made it work. And, you know, I've had some pretty amusing shots with taking my movable keyboard, putting it on top of him, and then typing because I don't feel like leaning at that moment. Well, I always joke that I'm getting a good foot massage when you've got some good heavy metal going on or something with a pretty strong bass. For the most part, that's really it. I don't really notice it per se. I don't hear the music. It's just sometimes if you have a strong bass, I can hear it, you know, and hear it through my feet.
Gotta love that.
Touche. But yeah, no, often I'm on video calls or phone calls anyway, so it's not a big deal because I have headphones in my own ears.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is I should turn it up louder so you can hear it better.
No. Honestly, I don't know. Prior to COVID, the city was very much against anybody working from home. It was a policy. They hated it when you work from home. It wasn't something they allowed. It was sort of verboten. Now that they've realized that we can all do it, and fairly successfully, there's some talk about the potential that they may incorporate it into the new schedule and save office space, but I'm not privy to that. I mean, I'm an employee, and that's a definite, like, the uppers. That's what we call them, managers and stuff. We call them uppers. So the uppers are gonna have to figure that out, and whatever they come up with is what we get.
And do you have a preference?
I would love it if I could do both. You know, like if I only had to go in 1 or 2 days a week and then work from home 2 or 3 days a week, that would be ideal. Because my job doesn't change, really. It's the same job whether I'm in an office or whether I'm at home. So yeah, I would prefer it if it would be a mix. And then even if I had to share my desk, right? Or if all we had was a hoteling space when we got into the office, I'd be okay with that. Well, it's not hard to be motivated when you're busy. I think it's, you know, be honest with yourself, and jobs and things can change. So for me, personal motivation is always tied to the fact that I like my job, right? And that's overall. Some days I hate it, but you know. Overall, I say I enjoy my job. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy being part of what makes Edmonton a great big little city. And yeah, so that's what motivates me, is to help it. I know it sounds cheesy, but I'm helping the city be the best big little city it can be, and that's my motivation.
So I have another question. I mean, this is probably the most important question out of anything I could possibly ask you. What would you say the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is?
Well, the answer's 42. You know that.
Okay, but I mean, what about the question? What would you say the question is?
There's a question.
Well, we have the answer.
Oh God.
Okay. Moving aside, let's discuss something even more important. Let's talk about Star Trek.
Go figure.
What would you say? Like, what is your favorite series out of all of them, and why is it the original series?
Nice try. I'm a Star Trek Next Gen fan. I am Captain Jean-Luc Picard all the way, and my Enterprise is the letter D, and that's just the way it's gonna be. And you know, there's other ones out there, but I'm a Next Gen fan all the way.
And how do you feel about New Trek? I know that there's quite a divide in the fandom about whether or not it's true Trek. What are your thoughts on it?
I think Lower Decks is funny. I do enjoy it. It's an animated series, but I think it's pretty funny. Picard was interesting, rather cerebral, but enjoyed it. Looking forward to the second season. Discovery, you know, I'm still trying to get there, you know, like, I mean, I know it's going into whatever season it is, 3 or 4, I can't remember. But there was definitely some of the characters I was like, that's what you're doing with them? Great.